Hello, good morning. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. I will wait for more people to get in. They are coming in now, so I will start very soon. I know there is a lot of people that register for this presentation, but probably some people will have a look later or during the following months. You can tell me in the chat. I'm going to close the participant thing. In the chat, you can tell me something about you while we wait, and then I will tell everyone how this is going to be organized. Okay, I welcome all of you. I have some people here, some people that I know. Okay, the people getting in. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes and I will start. I will share my screen with the presentation I want to show you today. Something. Okay, hello, Jennifer, I think. Hello from Durham. Okay, now we are in 10 participants. 1 more minute and I'll start. Okay, well, I think I'm going to start with introducing myself and with telling you some no rules, but some things that we're going to do. Hello, everyone. Francesca, I work as a telephone interpreter in the UK. Well done. I like the new remote work that we interpreters have. I miss the face-to-face things, but interpreting on the phone from home is quite comfortable. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my my screen. I want to keep the chat. Okay, so first of all, if you have any question, please, if you see down the screen, there is the Q&A button. Can you please write your questions there? And hopefully we will have about 15 to 10 minutes, a bit more, if we need to get over a bit to answer the questions that you may have. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you when it decides to allow me. This. Okay. Let me know just any one of you. Hello, Roberta. How are you? Can you tell me if you see my screen properly? Excellent. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video now so it doesn't interrupt the presentation. So welcome again to this presentation on public service translation. My name is José Luis Rodríguez Olveira. I am the owner of the new 1929 studio. You can see my website that's not live yet, but it's going to be live between today and Monday, hopefully, and my email in case you want to ask me any questions. So first of all, let's go to this. Who I am. I am a public service translator. I did my degree in Argentina as a legal translator or traductor público. I'm also a community interpreter level 6 with the International School of Linguists. I'm a member of CIOL, as a charter linguist. I'm a member of the International Association of Professional Translators and Interpreters, IAPTI. I'm a member of NAJIT, the National Association of Judiciary Interpreters and Translators of the USA. And I am a member of ACETRAD, which is the Spanish Association of Translators, Copy Editors, and Interpreters. I also hold a PGCE in Modern Foreign Languages by the Open University, and I am a teacher of English to speakers of other languages by Trinity College London. So let's go to our topic, the topic you are here for, the differences between public interpreting and public service translation. Well, the obvious one is that one is mainly oral and the other one is written. And both are crucial aspects of facilitating effective communication in multilingual environments, particularly within government and public service contexts. And we're going to see all those contexts during the presentation. And these two jobs, these two professions, involve distinct roles and responsibilities. And I said public service interpreting obviously is real-time communication. It can be in person or remote. We have Francesca, who is a remote interpreter, a telephone interpreter. It also requires certain skills. As interpreters, we need to have strong listening, speaking, and memory skills. We need to understand the cultural nuances, idioms, and contexts of a conversation to ensure an accurate and a meaningful interpretation. And also, we need to pay attention to non-verbal cues, tone of voice, gestures, in order to capture the full meaning of the conversation. And we need to be, obviously, aware of the different types or modes of interpreting. Are we going to use consecutive interpreting? Are we going to use simultaneous? Are we going to use liaison, chuchotage? So we have to be aware of that. As public service translation, in public service translation, or PST for short, I'm going to use PST a lot. The main, obviously, our main function is to produce written text from one language to another, that written communication, while preserving the tone, the meaning, and the style. Also conveying the message in the target language in an accurate way and ensuring clarity and coherence. But as public service translators, we will have time. We have the advantage of time to do research and refine our work. If we are not sure about some terminology, we will have the time to research it. And now we have so many tools, the internet, online glossaries, and other colleagues. Unlike interpreters, translators must also be culturally sensitive to accurately convey cultural context and the nuances present in the source text. Proofreading, we need to proofread our work and edit sometimes. So we need to have this proofreading and editing process is very clear when we work as public service translators. And specializations. Translators can specialize in various areas, such as legal, medical, technical, marketing, depending on our expertise and our interests. So, in summary, public service translation and interpreting facilitate, well, public service interpreting facilitate spoken communication, and public service translation involves converting written content from one language to another with careful attention to accuracy and cultural sensitivity. Now, the specialized public service translation areas, or specialized PST areas. As I said before, we can specialize in one of them. And in public service translation, there are a lot of areas that we can be called to produce translations. Healthcare translations, translating medical documents, health information, patient instructions, instructions, I can't say the word, instructions, public health campaigns, in order to ensure that individuals from various linguistic backgrounds can access accurate and vital healthcare information, healthcare brochures, for example. Legal translation, translating legal documents, court proceedings, legal notices, and other legal materials to provide individuals access to justice and ensure they understand their legal rights and obligations. Education translation, translating educational materials, school policies, curriculum content, communications to ensure that non-native speakers and diverse communities can participate in educational opportunities. Interpreters may be required to attend, for example, parents' evenings, because some parents don't speak the language. The public service translators will translate all these communications from school to parents. Social services translation, translating information relating to social welfare programs, benefits, community resources, etc. Government services translation, translating government forms, applications, permits, and other official documents to facilitate interactions. I'm going to speak about different types of documents in a minute. Emergency communication translation, translating emergency alerts, disaster response information, safety instruction, to ensure that all residents receive critical information during emergencies. And you've seen that this last month we have several emergencies or environment, climate, weather alerts. Public safety translation, translating law enforcement communications, crime prevention materials, community safety information in order to engage diverse populations in maintaining public safety. Civic engagement translation, translating voting materials, civic education resources, information about community engagement opportunities. The immigration services translation, translating immigration forms, documents, information to guide immigrants through the complex process of settling in a new country, for example. Housing translation, translating housing policies, rental agreements, housing assistance information, and tenant rights, in order to ensure that individuals have access to safe and affordable housing. Workplace rights translation, translating information about a workplace, rights, labor laws, employment regulations, work handbooks, in order to protect the rights of workers from different backgrounds. And I have to do that when I work for human resources, translating handbooks, the company's handbooks, and also translating the policies of the companies. And environmental services translation, translating information about environmental conservation, recycling programs, and sustainability initiatives. So these specialized public service translation areas reflect the importance of breaking language barriers to ensure that all members of society can access essential information, services, and opportunities. And the skilled translators, who are knowledgeable about the terminology, cultural nuances, legal implications of these fields, play a crucial role in facilitating effective communication and promoting equal access to public services. I was mentioning before the different documents. And we have, for example, government legislation and regulations. We have laws, statutes, and acts, regulations, ordinances, bylaws, government reports and publications. We have annual reports, white papers and policy documents, budget reports, environmental impact assessments, legal documents, as I mentioned before, all the ones I mentioned before, plus contracts and agreements, court rulings and judgments, public notices and announcements, notices of public hearings and meetings, election and voting information, notification of policy changes, Official communications, diplomatic communications and treaties, official correspondence between governments, press releases and official statements. Educational documents, the ones I mentioned before, plus academic transcripts and diplomas, school board minutes and educational policies. Financial documents like annual financial statements, audit reports, taxation documents. In health and safety documents, we can find public health advisories, safety regulations and guidelines, health inspection reports, census and demographic data, census and reports and data, population statistics, socioeconomic surveys, infrastructure and development documents, urban planning documents, building permits and zoning regulations, environmental impact assessments. In public service announcements, we have information about public services like transportation, utilities, social services, housing, and emergency alerts and disaster response plans. Public records and archives, historical documents and archives, land, deeds, and property records, birth, marriage, and death certificates, immigration and travel documents, passports and visas, immigration forms and applications, as I mentioned before, travel advisories and restrictions, environmental documents, environmental assessments and impact statements, as I mentioned before, pollution control regulations and conservation policies. And within trade and commerce documents, we find import and export permits, trade agreements and treaties, and trade and customs regulations. Now, these are just a few examples of the many types of public documents that exist. Each type of document has its own specific language, terminology, and purpose. Now, a lot of us are translators, and a lot of us have specialized in legal translation. Are legal translation and public service translation complementary? Yes. Legal translation and public service translation are complementaries in many ways, because while they are distinct fields with their own specific focus, they often intersect and support each other to ensure effective communication, accessibility, and equal access to legal information and public services for diverse linguistic communities. And how we do that? Well, providing access to legal information. Legal translation ensures that legal documents, laws, regulations, and court proceedings are accurately translated. Understanding the legal rights and obligations. This legal translation helps individuals understand their legal rights, their responsibilities, and obligations. Equal access to services. Public service translation ensures that individuals who speak languages other than the official language of a country can access government services, benefits, and information. Community outreach. Public service translation plays a role in disseminating legal information about changes in laws, policies, and regulations to different linguistic communities. Cultural sensitivity. PST, for short, for public translation, PST takes cultural nuances into account to ensure that translated content is culturally appropriate and respectful. Emergency situations. PST is essential for emergency communication, ensuring that individuals from diverse linguistic backgrounds receive timely and accurate information during crisis. Immigration integration. Both legal and public service translation contribute to the integration of immigrants by providing them with access to legal documents, such as immigration forms, and public services, such as healthcare, education, employment resources, housing. Policy implementation. PST assists in implementing government policies by making policy documents and guidelines available to a wider audience. Community engagement. Both fields, legal translation and PST, engage with linguistic communities to understand their needs, ensuring that translations are accurate, relevant, and effective in conveying legal information and public services. And language equality. By bridging language gaps, both legal and PST contribute to language equality, where individuals can access legal information and public services in the language they understand best. So, legal translation and public service translation, or PST, are interconnected and complementary fields that work together to break language barriers, promote understanding, and ensure equal access to legal information and public services for diverse linguistic communities. Where do public service translators, now PSTs for short, work? Well, first of all, I put a link there. You can copy that link while I'm talking. It's government agencies. The FCDO services career. FCDO stands for Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office. They have a in their website, they have pages devoted exclusively to career in the areas of translation and interpreting. There you can find the requirements to apply, what they expect, and what type of work you're expected to do. So government agencies can be a lot of them, and some of them will be in the list, in this list. Healthcare settings. Okay, what do we translate? What type of do we do there? Well, we translate medical records, prescriptions, consent forms, and any other healthcare documents. Legal institutions, for example, courts, law enforcement agencies, immigration offices. The translators will assist individuals with limited English proficiency to understand legal proceedings and communicating with attorneys. Educational institutions, translating educational materials, as I mentioned before, the school policies, curriculum content, parent-teacher communications. Social services, again, translating materials related to social welfare programs, housing assistance, unemployment. Emergency services, disaster response information, safety instructions, and public service announcements. Government websites and platforms. Government agencies will ask translators to translate content for the government websites, online portals, and applications to ensure that information about services and resources is accessible to all linguistic communities. For example, there is one of the government websites has the rights of people that are arrested. They have the rights and obligations translated into several languages. Well, that was done by public service translators. Community outreach. Again, community events, translating materials for community events, workshops, public forums, to engage individuals from diverse linguistic backgrounds in civic participation. That's very important in order to get integration of people that don't speak English. Immigration services, again, immigration forms, citizenship documents, information about immigration process in order to help immigrants navigate legal requirements. The workplace communication, as I said before, handbooks, training materials, safety guidelines, workplace policies, civic and political engagement, materials related to elections, voter information, non-profit organizations translating materials related to humanitarian aid, community programs, and advocacy efforts. And media and communications, translating press releases from government agencies, public service announcements, information campaigns to reach diverse audiences through various media channels. So PSTs play a vital role in promoting accessibility, inclusivity, and effective communication across different areas of public services. Their work ensures that individuals from various linguistic backgrounds can fully understand their rights, access resources, and participate in the services and opportunities offered by government agencies and organizations. Now, let's see the situation of public service interpreters in other countries. I'm going to go very quickly with this because I want to leave time for question and answers. In Argentina, for example, the country I studied, those were our roles and responsibilities: certified translations, certify the legal validity of the translation, certify the accuracy and authenticity, generally work in a specialized field, only working with the language pairs that we were qualified for, and follow the ethical standards of the Colegio de Traductores Públicos de Buenos Aires, which was the chartered institution in Buenos Aires that gathered all the traductores públicos or sworn translators in Buenos Aires. All cities have this type of chartered institution that certified the work of these translators. In order to be a public translator in Argentina, you had to go through a university course. It was in several universities, they have these courses. In Spain, you see the same roles and responsibilities, but in this case, the certification process is in the hands of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, what here we know as the Foreign Office. In order to get certified as a public translator and interpreter, because they join both, you have to go through an examination, different translations, different topics, and then an interpreting exam. What's the situation in England? Well, up to now, there were no register of public service translators as there is in Spain and Argentina and in other Latin American countries. But now the National Register of Public Service Interpreters has created the National Register of Public Service Translators. And as you can read there, the National Register of Public Service Translators, or the NRPST, will be the UK's independent voluntary regulator of professional translators specializing in public service. They will develop and maintain a public register of professional, qualified, and accountable translators. The National Register will be free of charge to access and searchable online. So any agency can access this register to look for an appropriate translator for the assignment. Every translator in the register will meet the standards for education, training, and practice in public service. All registrants will be subject to the NRPST Code of Professional Conduct, and they will regulate, investigate, and follow up any allegations of professional misconduct. Using the National Register of Public Service Translators, to find a translator will ensure that the client not only employs a qualified professional practitioner, but that the translator can be held accountable should their conduct or competence fall below the high standards expected of a registered public service translator, as the same they do with a registered public service interpreter. So go to the NRPST website, look for the requirements and for the different categories they have to register as a public service translator. Now, how do we start as a freelance PST? Well, obviously, we need our language proficiency in the pair language that we are, our native language, and the other language that we have a proficiency in. Education and training, while not always mandatory, although as you could see in Argentina, it was mandatory to have a degree in translation. While it's not mandatory here, obviously it can enhance your credibility. Is it compulsory? I wouldn't say it's compulsory. What is compulsory is to take some courses or obtain certifications in translation to demonstrate your expertise. How do you obtain certifications? Well, that is, I will mention it later, but again, it's registered with ITI, for example, the Institute of Translation and Interpreting, CIOL, Chartered Institute of Linguists, and obviously the National Register of Public Service Translators. Specialization. Translation, as mentioned before, PST covers various areas like legal, medical, government, immigration, and many, many more. Specializing in one or more of these areas will make you more attractive to specific clients who require your expertise. I specialized in legal, mental health, healthcare, and immigration. I do translations about other fields, but those are my specialties. Create a business plan. Freelance. Sometimes I spoke to a lot of other colleagues that work mainly with agencies, and they feel that a freelance works with an agency. A freelance is a business. You are a business. You need a business plan. Outline your target market, the services you'll offer, pricing structure, marketing strategies, financial projections. Plan, create your business plan. Because you are a business. You're not just a person working for an agency. You are a business. And as a business, you have to think about the legal considerations. Do you want to register as a sole trader? Do you want to register as a limited company? Also, check these things. You can check this in websites from the government. Create your contracts, create your documentation, develop clear and comprehensive contracts for your clients, include details about the scope of work, deadlines, payment terms, confidentiality agreements, any other relevant conditions that you may think of. Setting rates, research the industry for translation services, and think that your rates have to reflect your experience, the complexity of your work, and the value you provide to clients. Tools and technology. As translators, we need to invest in the necessary tools for efficient translation, such as CATs, computer-assisted translation tools that can be paid, for example, STL Trados, Deja-Vu, MemoQ, but also there are some free open source software that you can use, that you can download, for example, Omega T, but there are others like Matecat that you work straight online. Have an online presence. Create a professional website showcasing your services, specialization, past work, contact information. Go, as I said, my new website will be live between today and Monday. Go and have a look at it. Do it professionally. I ask someone to design it. That's why I say it's going live between today and Monday, because they're still doing now the quality assurance checks. Go to it and look and create something to have your online presence. Develop a marketing plan to reach potential clients. Attend industry events, social media, create valuable content. Don't think that your client is just an agency. You work with an agency, it's one of your clients. You can have your direct clients. Create a portfolio. As you start working with clients, build a portfolio showcasing your past translation projects. If you're just starting and you don't have any clients, do voluntary work. Work for the Translators Without Frontiers. They always need translators to help them with the translation of some documents. Do TED Talks, for example, subtitles for TED, translate subtitles for TED Talks, and you're going to see in my website I have a link to some of the TED Talks that I did in the past that I'm very proud of. So, and ask for feedback and use it in your portfolio on your website. Networking, connect with other translators, attend industry conferences, join relevant associations, and keep excellent communication and professionalism with your clients. They are crucial in maintaining good. It's crucial in maintaining good relationships with clients. Respond promptly to inquiries, deliver work on time, and address any concerns professionally. And insurance. Consider professional indemnity insurance to protect yourself from any errors or omissions that could occur during the translation process. It is something that all translators should have. And we're getting to the end. I'm going to speak now about training and CPD. To become a public translator in the United Kingdom, you need a strong foundation in language skills, cultural competence, and professional training. You can see there also public service translators play a vital role in ensuring accurate and culturally sensitive translations. We have already mentioned that, and that's very important. How do we get that? Well, again, language proficiency, to develop a high level of proficiency in both the source and the target language. Sometimes we think about the source language, which is not our native language, and we forget about our native language. We have to keep reading and watching television and watching films in our languages too. Mainly if we live in the UK, we have been living in the UK for a long time, it's important to keep our native language updated. Sometimes we forget words. Choose your specialization. Identify the field of public service translation that you're interested in. Legal, healthcare, education, social services, immigration. As I said, there are lots of them. Formal education, I said that's not necessary to have a degree, and it is not, but it is necessary to do some specialized training in public service translation. And this is look for programs or courses in public service translation. These programs will focus on translation techniques, cultural competence, terminology, and ethics specific to public service settings. And now it sounds that I'm doing, that I'm advertising myself, but I am at the moment preparing a course, non-language specific, to cover these areas: translation techniques, cultural competence, terminology, and ethics specific to public service settings. I'm also in talks with other professionals to cooperate with me in order to offer practicums, so translations from English into different languages. That I will keep this posted in my website. Ethical guidelines. Study the ethical guidelines for translators and interpreters in the UK. This will come, it will be part of your association with the CIOL, ITI, YAPTI. Any translators or interpreters associations will have ethical guidelines. Cultural competence. Develop cultural awareness and sensitivity to ensure that translations are contextually appropriate. And this, again, goes up to keep both languages updated. The language, the nuances, the cultural awareness. Things change in our countries, so we need to be aware of that. Gain practical experience through internships, volunteering, freelance translation work, obviously, but mainly volunteering if you don't have, if you're not working at the moment as a freelance translator. And certification. It's not always mandatory, but it's a good thing if you can show that you are a member of a recognized association like CIOL or ITI or the National Register of Public Service Translators, and you can certify your translation. Networking. Join professional organizations, take part in their conferences, in their workshops, seminars to connect with other professionals. Continuous professional development. Subscribe to newsletters, read books on your specialization, read books about a new specialization that you want to develop. Stay informed about changes in terminology, regulations, best practices. For example, immigration. Read the paper every week because, unfortunately, immigration rules in this country are changing as fast as the weather. Job search and application. Explore positions with government agencies, legal firms, healthcare organizations, educational institutions, non-profit organizations. Remember the link I mentioned before that is in the past slides about the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office or agency. And obviously freelancing. Start freelancing as a public service translator and start getting experience through working with doing voluntary work. And doing that, create a portfolio showcasing your translation work, including samples that demonstrate your expertise. So becoming a public service translator in the UK requires dedication, language proficiency, and a commitment to ensuring accurate and culturally sensitive translations that enable effective communication across language barriers. It's a valuable role that contributes to making services accessible to diverse linguistic communities. And it is, I have a long career as a translator. I've been translating for 35 years, in different environments, but I have to say that the one that I enjoy the most is public service translation and interpreting, because I also a public service interpreter. So thank you very much for listening. I'm going to open the video so you can see my face again, and I'm going to see the questions. Oh, Anna Bofo, I'm so sorry you don't hear any audio, but it was not any problem. So try to, so let me see, let me answer. Okay, Anna, I see. So, as a translator, do you feel big challenges from AI? Oh, that's the $1 million question. And I will say, no, I don't. And I tell you why. Yes, AI is becoming very advanced. However, they they will always need a post-editing translator. So even if our work as translators may be reduced, which I'm again not sure about that, and mainly in public services, legal documents, healthcare documents, not a lot of people will trust AI with a healthcare document, with a testament, with an immigration application. So there are lots of things, there are a lot of fields, there are a lot of documentation that AI may sort of translate, but not be specific, not be accurate. And cultural awareness, something that AI still needs to work a lot on. So no, I don't feel threatened by AI. It will pose challenges, but we can adapt and we can develop our post-editing skills. How does someone starting out as a freelancer know what their base pay contract should amount to or look like? Okay. I advise a lot of people to get the membership of CIOL or ITI. I think the CIOL is at this moment a bit more affordable than ITI. But in CIOL, you have lots of lots. You have examples of contracts, terms and conditions, and you have rate surveys that they do every 2 years that as a member, and there are different categories for members. So you may get one of the, for example, I can't remember all of them, but one is the student category. And you can download these surveys and have an idea. There's also Corinne McKay, is a translator from the United States, that she developed a way of calculating your viable rate. Let me answer, let me write her name here. And she has a book, How to Become a Successful Translator, with a lot of advice and with that system to develop your rates. You know how to get into retail translations with retail companies. Oh, I never worked with them, to be honest. Retail translations with retail companies. But my advice would be to create, if you have a LinkedIn profile, if you don't create a LinkedIn profile, with the tagline has to be very specific. What you do, what your specialization is, who do you work with, and then LinkedIn has a function that you can look for people in that industry, and you can connect with them through LinkedIn, and you can send a very polite and short message saying that you see, for example, that they are working in this industry, which you are developing your translation skills in, and that you'd like to you have to connect with them, and you have to have a conversation with them. And I think that's the way, a non-intrusive way of getting in touch with companies. Remember that according to the GDPR regulations, we cannot send cold emails anymore. You can connect with an agency through emails, but when they say connect with us with an email, or they have sometimes forms for translators or interpreters, but don't send cold emails. But you can do it through LinkedIn, because you are asking to connect. If you are in LinkedIn, it's because you want to connect with people, and people will want to connect with you. So it's a two-way street. Any company available to support me in my journey, as there is a lot to do in terms of paperwork. I'm not sure what you're asking me there. Any company available to support you in your journey? I'm not sure about that, to be honest. If you can clarify, if not, just email me with more clarification, and I will try to answer. Roberta asks why it's called the 1929 Studio. Mostly interested in the 1929 significance, obviously. I tried to think and do some research, but I could only find depressing events in the world happening in that year. But obviously for you, it must have different meaning. Just wondering, what is this that? It is my mom's birthday year. My mom was born in 1929. She's still alive. She's 94 years old. She will outlive us all, as I say in the website. But she was the one that made me study English when I was 7 years old in Argentina. And I didn't want to go because I was 7 years old. I wanted to be playing in the streets with my friends, because we live in the outskirts of Buenos Aires. It was a lovely neighborhood, very peaceful, with a lot of children. I had a wonderful childhood there, but I had to go to study English twice a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays. But that provoked in me a passion for languages. And as you see, I made that my career. Can you mail address again, please? Yes, my email address is Jose at the 1929studio.com. There it goes. So, okay, I think I answered everything. You can see there's my email. And also I'm going to write the address of the website. Oops. Which is easy to remember, is the 1929studio.com. But as I said, my website will be, the designer told me this morning that she's doing the quality assurance checks, and they will be right between this afternoon and Monday, hopefully. So you can have a look there. If you want to create your own website, you can have an idea there of what to put in it. Remember, that book by Corinne McKay is very useful, How to Become a Successful Translator. It will help you how to create your rate. Gives you an idea. Sorry, I'm going to have some water. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions. I mentioned that to get into PST, you have to get a few things ready: portfolio, CV, pricing, etc. I need help, even paid. Thank you. What do you need? I need help, even paid. Okay, send me. Did I give you my? No. So I'll give you my email again. I send you my email. So send me an email. As I said, I won't be in the country from Tuesday to Saturday next week, but I will be here this weekend. I will check my emails this weekend and on Monday before I go to the airport early in the morning at about 7 or no, we have to be at 7 at the airport. So let's see if I can help you in any way. Okay. So there's more questions. Referring. Okay, yes, I think that is Roberta. That's why I send the email and see how can I help. Let me see the chat. There was some chat. Let's see if there is any questions in the chat. Yes, there are. Okay. Yes, again, contact me. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. But it said, I have been translating and interpreting for more than 20 years, completing a language degree this year, passing a DPSI in January. I work for different. Okay. As I said, send me a message. I am mentoring at present. I'm mentoring a DPSI, an interpreter. There have been 3 sessions. She's been very happy. So email me and see how can I help you. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. You're very welcome. I see a lot of nice words. Is PST in PST? Would you suggest to focus on one language combination only, or the more the merrier? Francesca, it will depend on your skills. So if you, because for example, I know I have a student of mine here, Roberta. Roberta speaks 2 languages apart from English. She's going to do the exam as interpreter, and she had to concentrate one language first. But for translation, you can operate with your languages. If you have 2 languages that you are advanced, that you are nearly native, for example, you can offer more languages. I would offer more languages if I had. Well, I have. The thing is that the other language that I speak is not very popular. This is Galician from the northwest of Spain, which is very similar to Portuguese, but it's not Portuguese. I don't offer it because there's not a lot of work with that. But if it had been another language, yes, I would offer both languages. Okay? So thank you all for putting up with me for nearly an hour. Now we're just overrun. But I was told that it was fine if I have a lot of questions so they can do it. No, it's not a dialect of Portuguese. The original language, as it was known in the Middle Ages and when it started, it was Galego-Portuguese. And it was Galego-Portuguese because it was the same language. With time, because Portugal got independent from Spain, both languages developed in different ways. Portuguese had contact with the whole world. Gallego, unfortunately, Gallego stayed in that area, and it was oppressed during many centuries, even during the last dictatorship of Franco. it was all the regional languages like Basque, Catalan, Valencia, and Gallego. They were forbidden to be taught. So they developed in different ways, but it's not a dialect of Portuguese. Both languages started as the same language, but they developed differently. It's like, for example, we can say, I don't know, French and Occitan. There are two languages that come from the same, from Latin, but they derive differently. And all the languages in Spain, except Basque, they're all Romance languages, Spanish, Catalan, Valencia, although there is an argument there that they are the same. But then Bable from Asturias, Galician, Castilian, Aragonese, they're all languages that came from Latin, and they were different languages. And again, the same, Gallego and Portuguese were different languages. So, Galaico-Portuguese, yes, I speak Portuguese myself. It is a very contentious issue. No, it's not. I think it's very clear. For me, it's very clear. They, they were born together and then they were separated. Each father or each parent took one away. Okay. Thank you all for this session. I hope you really find it informative. And yes, it's my point of view. So if you have any questions, if you want to email me, just do it, and I will reply as many questions as I can. So have a nice weekend. Enjoy the rest of the show, and hope to see you in the future. Bye to all. Thank you. Thank you for all your nice words, guys. Thank you very much. Yes, my holiday. Encanta meu galego, a mí también. And do that. Okay.